Good morning. I'm going to get started off this morning. I just want to do a short video on, and we're going to call this Getting Started Number 1. And what I want to show you is, because people always are asking, how do the feet work? How do I know which foot I need? Those types of questions, because ruler work really is an eye-opening thing if you've never been able to do free motion quilting that you feel confident in, so that you have that consistency. First thing we're going to look at here, I've got a couple of the feet out of the package. Now, we make two different sizes of feet, and by sizes I mean I'm determining the size by the diameter of this round part of the foot. So the large foot is 1/2 inch in diameter, which means that it's 1/4 of an inch from the needle to the edge of the foot. So your needle would come down directly in the center of the foot, and from there to the outside edge is 1/4 of an inch. On the small, again, we're doing the same thing. We're determining the size of the foot according to the width. So this is our mini foot. So it's 1/4 of an inch from edge to edge of that circle. And then again, your needle's going to go down in the center of the foot. It's going to be 1/8 of an inch from this needle to the outside edge of that foot. So always having that consistency there. Now the shank height will vary according to what machine you're using. So this here, this portion, is what we are calling the shank. And you're going to determine for your machine what size shank you need by simply measuring. If you can look here in the side of this bar that comes down, there's a screw hole. You're going to measure when you have your foot, your presser foot in the down position, which mine is. You're going to measure from the center of that hole down to the throat plate, and that's going to kind of determine what shank height you need. So for instance, mine measures from the center there down to the throat plate 1/2 of an inch. That means I need a short shank ruler foot. So the only thing that's going to vary other than that is for our folks who are sewing with different types of machines. We've got the super short foot in both the larger and the mini size. And then you're going to move on up to the short shank, the mid shank, which these are primarily used only on FOFs. And then you have the high shank. So the higher end machines, the ones that you're paying an extreme amount of money for, that's what's going to use these high shank machines, or high shank feet. So these are all really important. And another thing always to keep in mind is our feet are warranted for life. So as long as you have the foot, if something happens to it, we'll replace it at no cost to you. All I ask is that you send us a picture via email so that I can confirm that it's damaged, and we'll mail you out a new one. So there's no worries as far as that is concerned. Now, prices do vary on the feet according to shank height. And all of that is listed on the website, and you can go there anytime, which is www.cscountrystitching.com. Now, when you get into your Bernina, okay, all of our friends who are Bernina users, Bernina makes two different types of adapter. So this is the newer style. So after 1996, if your machine is made after 1996, this is the type of adapter that you need. So you can see here on the end. So this is the little cone, so that little cone is going to fit right down in there, and you're going to put this on your machine just like any of your other feet. Now, on the side here, there is a screw, just like the screw hole that we have in our shank. This screw is going to come out, and then you're going to attach the foot to that adapter. Now, if your machine is before 1996, you're going to have an adapter that looks like this with these two little ears. So if you do have a Bernina, you want to keep in mind that you want to double check the feet that you have now to see whether it's got the two little ears on top or if it's got that solid piece across the front. Now I have a foot here that has already been attached to the adapter. So here's the little mini ruler foot attached to the new style Bernina shank adapter. So that's how easy it is. It's not a big deal. We have them available also on our website. Now, the other machine that comes into play here is any of your straight stitch only machines. So, Juki makes several. Brother makes one. Baby Lock makes one. Any of those straight stitch machines. Technically, they are a high shank, so when you measure from that needle or from that screw hole down, it's going to be 1 inch. Problem is the needle position is different, and we need your needle to fall down in the middle of that foot. So you're going to order a high-low adapter, which looks like this. Again, it's going to go on your shank, and your screw is going to go through here. This screw is going to come out, and you're going to attach your foot to that.
And what size foot is that?
This is a short shank special. So whether you get it in the larger size or the small size, so any of those straight stitch machines, you need the high-low adapter available on the website, and you want to order a short shank special. It's a little bit lower than the regular short shank, and it compensates with this adapter. So now, when you're getting ready to put your foot on your machine, and I'm going to put mine on here now so you can see how that works. Let me just scoot this stuff over here out of the way. I've got my little screwdriver, and I've already taken the screw out of this shank here. So I'm going to go ahead and just raise the foot, and I'm going to take the screw, and it's going to go right through that oval slot there. So in through the oval, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to start it with my fingers, if they'll work here, girls. Those fingers don't work like they used to. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and just tighten this up, finger tight, not too tight, okay? And I usually suggest you leave it a little bit loose, because now we're going to adjust for the height, so the thickness of our fabric. So if we've got a backing, a batting, and a top all in cotton, you're going to adjust your foot to the height of that. Now if you have flannel, it's going to be a little thicker. So that oval there in the side allows us to raise and lower that foot according to the thickness of that quilt. So I usually just leave that loose like that. I'm going to go ahead and just put my foot down. Now that's going to automatically bring that foot to the top of that fabric, and I'm going to go ahead and tighten it with my little screwdriver here, and we want it to be nice and snug. Okay, now I always want to double check that I can slide my fabric easily through there. Now I'm going to go ahead and take a template, anyone will work. We're just going to bump that up against the other of that foot, push down on it pretty good. Just make sure you can't slide it underneath the foot, because if you can, obviously you're going to break a needle or something like that. So that's going to conclude our part 1 of getting started with templates.